is Muhammed Omotola. I'm in the United Nations Environment Program in NAIROBI, Kenya. I work with the Pollution and Health Unit in particular, and leading on work on chemicals, waste, and pollution in general. I'm very pleased to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation. On behalf of UNEP, I'd like to thank the Algerian government and the Algerian Virtual Waste exhibition for putting this event together, for this great initiative. So my talk today will be focusing on what UNEP is doing in Africa regarding waste, and just to share some information for the participants on this call. I'll be very much happy to take questions after the presentation and also be able to share some more information for you regarding our work at UNEP. Thank you very much. So I'll just share my screen now, and I hope all the technical works very fine. All right, so yes, I hope you can all see my screen. Here is just basically a presentation of the overview of what UNEP's work on waste is in Africa. My presentation basically is will focus on these areas. Firstly, on the Bamako Convention, which is a regional convention on waste in Africa. I also speak about the United Nations Environment Assembly UNEP resolution on ending plastic pollution. Also provide some information regarding some of the publications, key publications on waste work by UNEP. I would also be speaking to you about the SwitchMed and sustainable consumption and production work in Algeria. And then, of course, providing you some key information regarding contacts for UNEP, where you can always reach out to us and contact us. The Bamako Convention is a treaty of African nations. There are currently 29 signatories and 25 parties. It was negotiated in 1991 and came into force in 1998 after a series of incidents in Africa where toxic waste has been dumped into some cities in Africa. It specifically prohibits the import into Africa of any hazardous waste of any form. And it recognizes the significant impact of radioactive waste to human health and to the environment. The Bamako Convention was established after the failure of the Basel Convention to prohibit trade of hazardous waste to the least developing countries in Africa. And obviously, the Basel Convention is a much more global convention that also, deals with hazardous waste movement. The Bamako Convention actually focuses more on Africa, providing a better protection for Africa. There were incidents of waste deposits in cocoa, parts of Nigeria. There's also an incident not long ago, a couple of years back now, in Provo-Koala area of Côte d'Ivoire. And even more recently, there's also been incidents of shipping of toxic waste to Liberia, Tunisia, and so on from other parts. And this is what the convention really seeks to do. But currently, the government of Algeria is not yet a party to the convention, and we hope that they would be, of course, able to be a party to the convention very soon. The Bamako Convention is hosted by UNEP within the Africa office in Nairobi, Kenya. And the Africa office supports the secretariat, and UNEP provides support for the secretariat. And it had 3 conferences of the parties already, and there are plans for a 4th one very soon. So that in itself is the leading Africa convention on waste, basically in Africa, the Bamako Convention. Moving on, the convention also is very important for key reasons. It prohibits all ocean and inland water dumping or incineration of hazardous waste in Africa. It's established also the precautionary principle, as this is a very vital key point where we need to ensure that precautionary approach is put into place. The Convention minimizes and controls transboundary movement of hazardous waste within the African continent. Indeed, there's some waste already in the continent, and some are also being, shipped for various reasons, and it kind of provides a legally binding, support for African member states to have a bit of more control on this issue within Africa. It also ensures that disposal of waste is really conducted in an environmentally sound manner. As it is, of course, there's a massive number of waste generation in the continent, and this has to be done, in a much more environmentally friendly approach. And the convention also seeks to promote cleaner production over the pursuit of permissible emission levels, an approach based on accessibility and capacity assumptions. So these are really very key important factors that the convention also puts into place. Moving on, so recently at the fifth session of the UNEA, United Nations Environment Assembly, the UNEA 5.2, that's the second, 5.2, because there were actually two parts of UNEA 5. The United Nations Environment Assembly adopted the resolution UNEP EA5/4, which seeks to end plastic pollution towards an internationally legally and binding instrument. By that resolution, member states affirmed the urgent need to strengthen global coordination, cooperation, and governance to take immediate action towards the long-term elimination of plastic pollution in the marine and other environments, and of avoiding detriment from plastic pollution to the ecosystem and the human activities dependent upon them. This is a very strong resolution, very strong decision made by member states for urgent action to take place in a much more coordinated fashion against plastics. Of course, plastics have been quite useful to us in our daily lives, but there's also a major menace in terms of dealing with it and proper disposal and managing it. So hence the decision resolution was taken by UNEA itself, and the process has been put into place, for which I'll be talking to you in a bit. So the resolution also seeks for sustainable design for the use and manufacture of and recycling. Member states also underline the importance of promoting the sustainable design of products and materials so that they can be reused, remanufactured, or recycled, and therefore retained in the economy for as long as possible, along with the resources they are made of, as well as minimizing the generation of waste, which can significantly contribute to sustainable production and consumption of plastics. The key keywords here really are reuse, remanufacture, and recycling. A lot of plastics end up in the marine environment and also on the streets and so on and so forth in the environment, whereby it becomes harmful to human health and environment. And in order to reduce the amount of materials that are used in generating these plastics, there should be a very, the essence of circularity needs to be adopted in the process, and therefore you have a reuse and remanufacture being involved. And also this will ensure that the waste itself is minimized greatly to a large extent. UNEP also has produced several publications and reports related to waste. First prominent of all is the Global Waste Management Outlook, which provides possible ways forward on waste management. It also seeks to assist policymakers and practitioners, to develop their own local solutions for waste management at the national and local levels. So this is basically a document that has a global global outlook of the status of waste management as of now, globally, and that report also is usually updated by UNEP on a regular basis. Now, going from a global level now to focus more on an Africa focus level. There's also the Africa Waste Management Outlook that also provide a context on the continental level in terms of trends in management of waste in Africa. And that in itself, looks at the various types of waste streams. It looks at electronic waste. It looks like municipal solid waste. It looks like plastic waste in Africa. And it also looks like at waste in terms of used oil, waste in terms of waste-lead acid batteries, which I'll also speak to in a minute as well. So in itself, in Africa, there's a host of streams of waste. And particularly for this exhibition, I think this virtual exhibition, I think it's very important to see how Africa can lead in technologies and indigenous technologies and homegrown technologies that helps to attend to and deal with this waste streams. The United Nations Environment Program, UNEP, which I also oversee the work on waste-lead acid batteries, just developed recently a policy and regulators manual for environmentally sound management of waste-lead acid batteries in Africa. This is also an area of concern. There's so much waste-lead battery use for various things, batteries in vehicles, batteries for powering solar panels, batteries for using at home in things like power generation. So all of this in itself, in trucks, vehicles, machinery, generators, engines, and so on and so forth, all of these items uses batteries. And this is, in fact, also provides a lot of pollution from use of lead. And this guidance manual assists governments and stakeholders to give them a way to evaluate the state of waste and also throughout the supply chain in a very sound manner. Also giving strategies and considerations and tools to help them to achieve this in Africa. And the manual is available currently in English and also translated into French, which will also be made available to member states and stakeholders and all those interested in the area. Moving on, there's a SwitchMed program in Africa, which is EU funded. And this work is happening in Nigeria. The program assists 8 countries in the southern Mediterranean areas to switch to sustainable patterns of consumption and production, and supports national and regional stakeholders in achieving productive, circular, and sharing economies in the Mediterranean. And this work already is already happening. The first phase of the SwitchMed UNEP in 2013-2028 provided advisory services and technical support to the government of Algeria in the development of their sustainable consumption and production national action plans. And now we're in the SwitchMed phase 2, which is from 2019 to 2024, which UNEP will provide support to the national implementation of the SAP and national action plans through progress monitoring. And of course, currently there's a publication on how Algeria is switching to SAP status report in 2022. The work on blue economy is also ongoing, and also the work on sustainable consumption and production roundtable meetings are also happening. There indeed are three priority areas for which Algeria is already leading here, and is focusing on areas of energy transition and energy efficiency, the renewable energy itself, and waste management as a priority, which is, of course, I think this event also supports as well. So there are indeed 2 publications currently out there, which access to. I believe it's also going to also be available electronically, which we can put to share the links. This is the mode de consommation et de production durable. In Algeria, this is a document on the left of the screen, and also there are 2 actions pour développer le mode de consommation et de production durable au service This is in Algeria, of course, from 2016 to 2020. So the whole SAP NAP exercise is to help to integrate sustainable consumption and production patterns into national policies and plans to ensure energy transition through promotion of energy efficiency and development of renewable energies, and to develop a zero waste economy by 2030. So this slide provides some useful contacts on how we can reach UNEP, and also myself through our headquarters in UNEP, hosted in UNEP in Nairobi. Please make some time to have a look at our website on www.unep.org. And of course, we're celebrating, for some of you may be aware that we're celebrating 50 years of UNEP since it was established in 1972. And we're still in celebratory spirit. We look forward to the next 50 years of working across supporting member states and supporting parties, and supporting stakeholders as well in waste management and many other areas as mandated by the United Nations Environment Assembly, and also by the governing bodies that exist. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much, and happy to take questions. Thank you. Thank you.